Alrighty, folks, we got the man, myth, the legend, aka Stephen Dow from Velocity Mortgage, and we are going to talk about something that is really, really important. We've talked about the 50, 40, 10. We've talked about the Fast 50, all of these great loan products from Velocity Mortgage. But here's the deal. If you don't fight through it, you don't push, you can't get these deals. So I got a great quote you're going to go through, Stephen. But before we do, please give the marketing spiel.
Thank you, sir. Although I work very happily for Velocity Mortgage Capital, all the ideas and topics discussed on this channel that of my own. So let's get it going.
So I'm going to read a quote that is attributed to Dawn Staley. She is the head coach of the national champion South Carolina women's basketball team. She actually has had a great career. She's been player of the year and now head coach. So she's a beast. And I love her because she's frankly blunt. And I think we need a lot of that. So I'm going to read a quote from her, and then we're going to talk about real estate investors that I see that unfortunately do the same thing. So here we go. Problem is, you all got league dreams with backyard work ethic, and your parents applaud it. I think about that quote, it hits home. I talk about doing the work, daily discipline. You and I talk about the 50, 40, 10 creativity, working with sellers. And there's a lot of investors who talk a good game, who have backyard, why can't I say that word? Backyard work ethic when they got league dreams. You want all of these great things and you're not willing to do the work, folks. If you're not doing the work, you have backyard work ethic, you're not getting anywhere. What do you think of all that? How's that quote hit you?
Well, jokingly, what about the WNBA? No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, the quote is fantastic. It's just another example or just another, analogy of just doing the work. If again, not even great things, just good things for yourself or great things for your family, then yeah, you got to put in the work. It's just none of this like, watching videos of people making these successes and achievements, but you don't get the full, maybe the whole journey. You know what I mean? So agreed that, yeah, success stories don't always start off that way. They just end up that way when you can kind of push through because you're going to get a lot of resistance being in this field of what you're doing. In the investment world, you don't know what you don't know yet until you come up about it and you're like, okay, what do I do now? So, when you come across a particular issue in a particular property, whether it be just discovering through an appraisal, property inspection, whatever circumstances, a damage caused by natural causes, anything like that, you just have to sometimes pivot if given life throws certain things at you and you kind of have to figure out a way to come up with the money to pay for things or get the financing you need. So long story short, it's just yeah, well, a lot of challenges are going to be coming your way.
This quote hit me hard because I've been asked to keynote at the Northwest Action Summit. I think it's in the first week of May. Olivia and I are both going to the event, so that's cool. People can meet Olivia. But
where's that at?
It's in Oregon, so I think we're flying to Portland. So
okay,
so it's pretty cool. And the reason this quote hit me hard was I've been asked to talk about seller financing, and one of the slides I'm creating the presentation now. I've listed all the seller finance deals that we've done, since the beginning, starting with our third property on Ferris. We got a 10% seller carryback. We've done seller financing on apartments. We've done seller financing on portfolios. We've done seller financing on distressed properties. We've done bank. It's just, there's all these long lists of quote unquote success stories. Dude, that comes from learning and being educated and understanding loan products. For example, my first seller financing, 2004, Ferris property. I didn't have enough for the down payment. I didn't have enough, right? It was a great two-family house in the front, house in the back, would be a cash flow monster. I got it in contract. We didn't have enough to get it done. We locked it up. We went back to the seller and we said, hey, we'll give you, and I think we said something like, we'll give you an extra $2,000 on the purchase price, but you've got to carry back 10% in a second.
Was this in the
And it,
beginning of your career
yeah, there was a
or
third deal,
oh wow.
third
Wow.
deal. Because I
Okay.
was like, no, I'm like, Olivia, this is because I remember we locked it up. It was going to be the best cash flow property we ever bought. It was going to be almost $1,000 because it
What?
had two houses on front and
Right.
back. And we were
Right.
basically paying for just the house in the front. But we kept bending over backwards. We kept trying to get the financing. We kept trying to get it done. It just wouldn't work with the cash that we had at
Right.
the time because our third property, we were done, right? We had no more cash left.
Right.
And um, it was just by sheer education and will that I was like, you know what? What if we went back to the seller and said, hey, we'll give you a little more on the price, but we need you to take back the second. And the second
Mhm.
was, I don't know, 10, 11,000 bucks.
Sure.
But we were able to delay payments for, I think, a year. We were basically
Right.
able to structure it so the seller got
Sure.
a little bit more and we got
Uh-huh.
a deal done. And again, seller financing deals rarely just land in your lap. They're not on the MLS as saying seller financing accepted. You
Right.
know, you've got to work at it. You've got to understand the tools. And
That's an idea. Maybe we start a new subsection, for certain listings where,
yeah,
seller, potential, participation or willingness, whatever. Yeah. Well,
whatever.
that's
Yeah.
funny. Uh-huh.
But yeah, no, and the reason this is important to me, again, I go back to her quote, right? You got league dreams, but
Hmm.
backyard work ethic. So many people tell me I'm excited about seller financing. And like that's the end of the sentence, right? I've been looking at it, looking for examples, understanding loan products, doing the math, understanding blended interest rate, delaying terms. One of the seller finance deals we got, 0% financing. One of the deals we did, I overpaid for a property, got 1% mortgage. I mean, it's folks, it takes work, it takes inspiration, it takes playing with the numbers, it takes working with professionals like Stephen Dow just to understand. I know you've helped plenty of people with the 50-40-10. Shoot, you did a
Right.
50-40-10 on a cash out refi.
Right.
Why is that possible?
Well, again, we allow up to a maximum of a 90% CLTV, and in this particular case, the borrower has such a great relationship with the seller who provided seller financing, who was in current first position, that seller was willing to move in second position, didn't change the terms as far as interest rate or whatnot, but was able to allow the borrower to get better terms with us being in first position. And I think that was the only way to qualify for any type of cash out
Mhm.
meaningfully, without like worse terms. Um, and so yeah, it just it's just a tool, and as far as the 90% CLTV, it's just how you can apply it to different scenarios given the circumstances or resources or people's willingness to kind of do certain things or carry certain amounts or whatnot. So it's a neat trick to kind of carry in your back pocket. And yeah, that was just like a Swiss Army knife of loans. Like I said, it just depends on what you need at that time. So
And the reason this is important, I want people to hear this. We've got mortgage rates, conventional rates over 7.3, probably, could be going higher. That's undoubtedly going to slow down the housing market, but it's also going to increase the opportunity to get creative. That's just how it works. Slower housing market, more creativity. Slower
right,
housing market, more motivated sellers. And how it worked every time. And that's going to be a big part of my talk at Northwest Action Summit. I'm going to talk about the 50-40-10. I'm going to put your name and email. You told me I could do that last week. So yeah,
right.
I'm actively building that presentation. Don Staley's quote is going to be right in there because again, I just love that. Hey, you got league dreams, right? You want to be in the NBA or the MLB or NFL, but you have
Right.
a backyard work ethic.
As you and I are just discussing that, I think the real pivotal point in all of this is just having that meaningful conversation with the decision maker, and that's usually the seller, or unless the listing agent really understands the concept, effectively, then they could really relay the information. Otherwise, that's what I think is just stepping your game up with your pitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Presenting up, everything, all your ducks in a row. That there's really no room for not wanting to do it or participate, with the exception of they need all the money right away or whatever the
Yeah.
case may be. But outside of that, if the two main, questions are, do you need all the proceeds from the sale of the property? No. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, then how much can you hold and for how long? And from there, you kind of wiggle in and get in where you can fit in. And
Yeah.
more often than not, it really works out. You just got to communicate. But again, making the effective pitch, the decision maker having to kind of like agree to the at least the openness to try to like figure things out, and then from there, the sky's open, really.
Yeah. So I mean, let's give some these are going to be kind of my takeaways, and I'm playing with this in real time. If
Yeah.
you want to have league dreams, and in this case, talking seller financing, you want to get
Mm-hmm.
seller financing deals. You have to understand how you can play with the numbers. You
Right.
need to understand how to calculate blended interest rate. You need to calculate how you can delay pay. You need to do some of the math. Second, you need to understand the tax benefits. What is an installment loan? You need to understand depreciation recapture. You need to understand some of these vocabulary things so you can be knowledgeable in front of the owner. You need to understand um, how you can overpay and still get a better deal. You need to understand how to do
Yep.
win-win transactions. You need to
Yep.
understand how to communicate through an agent to the owner, right? If you got league dreams and you want a lot of seller financing deals, do the work, as
Agreed.
Staley would say. Stanley.
100%. I mean, again, lumberjack landlord did the work, found a stellar situation, saved everybody involved. I
Yeah, the
mean,
seller
sellers,
stayed in
the
their
homeowner,
home. Yeah.
oh, got passive
Win, win,
income.
win.
He win everybody.
Yeah.
So it just took a lot of work, but and his sharp
Get it done.
eye, made everything kind of like fall into place, and it really did work out really beautifully. I mean, I felt really good doing that deal. It was just
Yeah.
it worked out. Everybody, really, it not only did it work out for everybody, it put people in better position
Yes.
after the fact. It was like
Everybody was better off after. Everybody.
agreed, 100%. So I was just like, ugh, how could you ask for anything more? So
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
if in this in this environment though, you just got to do the work. But they're out there. The
Yeah.
deals are out there.
At the end of the day, folks, a slower housing market means more opportunity. You can find motivated sellers. You can get creative. I think we are in that segment. Hopefully, I'm hoping for the rest of the year. And again, if you have league dreams, which in this example is getting seller financing deals, you need to take some ownership. You need to do some work. You need to understand the tools at your disposal. And if you're going to Northwest Action Summit, do me a favor. Make sure I say hi. Make sure we take some pictures, get an autograph, bring your book, have some fun. Stephen, how can somebody reach out to you and go, tell me more about this 50-40-10?
Again, you can email me at sdao@velocitymortgage.com. In the subject line, please put the acronym ORAAT, which stands for one rental at a time. Body the email, maybe a brief description, what you're looking for. Property address would be great. City and state to make sure I lend there. Mid-FICO score and a phone number where I can reach you at. And within 24, 48 hours, I'll be in touch.
Awesome. Thank you, buddy.